Other people experiencing you is like listening to a song for the first time. Listening to a beautiful song for the first time. That's what it's like when other people are experiencing you. So give people a chance. Can you play the song? Can you put the song on Spotify? Can you release the song so that people can hear you? Please. Thank you. Hello, my name is FAERIE, and I'm going to be telling you about how going to one open mic altered my brain chemistry. Now, when I say it altered my brain chemistry, I feel like my frontal lobe developed a little bit in that moment. I don't know how to explain. It just debunked a lot of misconceptions and limiting beliefs I had about myself, about what I believed was possible for the future. And yeah, I'm getting to it because it's very helpful. I'm challenging myself to talk without using reading from my journal or my writing, because I tried it in the last few videos and it's kind of awkward. But I might go back to it. I don't know. I'm just trying stuff. Anyways, this past summer in I think August or July of 2024, one of them, July, this past summer, I went to an open mic, and I hadn't performed in a year. I had only ever performed in college, in school, or at talent shows at very safe spaces. I had never really done an open mic or performed in a situation like that. To give you some background, I've taken vocal lessons for 3 years, but I was only able to start in college. So I kind of had some doubts about my skill because I didn't have an early start. I'm also very shy and very awkward. So I feel like I had this conception in my mind that people wouldn't like me as much as a performer because I wasn't very magnetic or charming or naturally sociable. And I also have stage fright and terrible social anxiety. So a lot of odds stacked against me, but I also happen to be very passionate about performing and a pretty talented singer, in my opinion, and a pretty talented performer, or at least I have a lot of potential that I want to at least try and pursue in this life. So I have this drive, despite all the anxiety and fear and doubt I have about myself, I have this drive to perform and sing. And I don't get the opportunity to sing in front of people a lot, so I worked up the courage to go to this open mic. I had met a friend who is a student of the same vocal coach as me, and we ended up going together. Now, she found this open mic, and I hadn't heard of it before. I didn't do much research. She just sent it to me, and I saw that it was a safe space for Black performers, and the stage was for Black performers, and it was great for networking with other artists. And so I was like, yeah, cool, let's go. I didn't know anything about the open mic. I thought you just go, everyone shares, you sing in front of the people, you're done. Now there's 4 plot twists, so prepare. It gets to the end of the day. It's at 6 p.m. I've been nervous the entire day. My stomach hurts. I haven't eaten, but regardless, I'm still gonna go. Me and my friend get to the open mic. We get there. The vibe is cool. Everyone's chill. There are some drinks. It's a cool space. I automatically like the environment, but I'm still nervous. So I sign up. I put my name on the list for the open mic. I sit down, and when the host starts explaining everything, she explains the open mic is a raffle. So she's going to call a certain amount of people's names, not everybody on the list. So only a certain number of people get to perform. But she explains that there is something called a freestyle cipher after the open mic, and it's for the people who didn't get to perform. They can compete. But mind you, she also explains that the whole open mic, they're competing for $700. So there's first, second, and third place, and I think first place got $300, second place got $200, first place got $100. I can't do math right now. $300, $600, or $700 is what they're competing for. Mind you, I had no idea this was a competition. I thought this was just an open mic, but no, I get there. She explains there's a competition. There's 4 judges on the side, and then the freestyle cipher, the audience is voting for the last one standing to win $200. So I'm like, I didn't know this was a competition. I thought I was just getting up here to sing in front of people. So automatically I'm like, oh, okay. Automatically I want to run out the door as soon as I get in. But regardless, I'm like, I've been nervous the whole day. I've been wanting to do this. You know, this is part of what I want to do. Like, what's the worst that could happen? That's the conversation, the internal dialogue I'm having with myself. And I've been having with myself the whole day. I'm like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, what is the fear? That I mess up, that I look stupid? I'm never going to see these people again. If I mess up, I look stupid, you know, I still gain experience as a performer. Like, this is part of the journey, and I gain practice, and, you know, at least I push past that fear. Like, if I'm going to look dumb, I'm going to look dumb. Like, at least I did my thing, you know. I'm not going to see these people again. I don't know these people, so it'll be a temporary feeling and permanent gain. That's the conversation I was having with myself. So I stayed in my seat. We get into the performances, and they do not call my name. Plot twist number 2. Number 1, I realized it's a competition. We're competing. There's judges. I thought I was just going to be singing in front of people. It was just sharing. 2, they don't call my name for the open mic. And so I'm sitting there nervous, waiting the whole time. They don't call my name. And then they move on to the freestyle cypher. Basically, where all the artists go up and the DJ will play a song, a random song, and you have to freestyle something to it, and you go head to head against another artist, and then the host will put her hand over each person's head, and the audience will cheer for the person they want to stay, and whoever gets the loudest cheer stays, and they do that until you get to the last person, and that last person wins $200. And so we get to the freestyle cypher. My name hasn't been called. I'm like, I'm not about to waste my anxiety. I'm about to take my chance. So I pry myself off of that seat, even though everything in me did not want to do that. And I get up on stage, and we begin the freestyle cypher. It gets to my turn. I'm on my first round, and I'm going against someone who already performed. But they wanted to do the cypher too. So I get up. We sing, we do our thing. I'm really not sure what's going on. I'm confused. I'm like, oh, I have to freestyle. She's like, okay, for you, we'll just let you sing something. I just sing something, I don't know. And I go against the lady, and so we finish the singing. She shakes the other lady's hand, so I'm thinking she won. I walk off stage thinking I lost my first round. So plot twist number 3, okay? I lose my first round. I sit back down. They continue the cypher. Mind you, everybody's been drinking a little bit at this point. It's later in the night, so not everybody is not as diligent, you know, keeping track of everything. I'm sitting watching. I feel a tap on the shoulder behind me as I'm sitting in the audience. I turn around. The lady goes, I think you won. I think you're still supposed to be in the competition. I go, really? Because I'm realizing she shakes the hand of the person who loses. So in my brain, I already assumed I was going to lose. And so I just walked off stage. And so I'm like, oh, what do we do? So the lady behind me was kind enough to point that out. She flags down one of the judges, and she's like, oh, I think she actually won the cypher. So we figure that out. I'm back on stage, back competing, back singing in front of people. And so I continue the cypher. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I end up freestyling. I'm good at what's the word? I'm good at improvising runs, so that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of good at improvising lyrics. Like I freestyle in my own time with my writing process. Like I'm good at kind of like channeling, you know, different lyrics and sounds like that, but I've never done it in front of an audience. Yeah, so I end up doing that. We're going head to head. It ends up me versus a rapper, the last 2 standing. We have to go 2 rounds because the audience is so undecided, and I end up winning. Somehow I end up winning $200 on my first open mic, and I was completely shocked. I maybe will add some clips.
A lot of people couldn't do. You did what a lot of people couldn't do, and y'all killed it. Now. Now, if you really want that person to win, speak to the top of your lungs, okay? We can only go one. There we go. Yeah, girl. You know I was doing this for fun. She said, when the spirit of the Lord. All right. So our first place winner wins $400. Second place $300. Third place $200. Freestyle cycle wins $200.
And here's why, you know, this seems like such a small event. Like, you know, one open mic, $200 isn't that much, but it really, I learned like some very important lessons, and it debunked a lot of things for me, and it acted as like a big metaphor for, you know, manifestation and for how you should navigate life. So basically, I'm gonna do my very best to put this into words. The experience taught me to surrender. It taught me to go in with no expectations, and that things can turn out better than I expected. There's such an endless amount of possibilities the way things could end, so much more than the things we create in our brain, and to give things a chance to turn out better or different than you expected, and to allow yourself to be surprised, because the scenarios we create in our head, the options we create in our head of what can happen are only so few. Like, it's only a small fraction of, you know, the way things could line up in real life, the way the universe has, you know, lined up things for us. So we really don't know. So it really taught me to surrender, to give things a try, to go in without expectations. And it also taught me about like stepping out of my comfort zone and how that can pay off, because I put myself in so many uncomfortable things that really were like deep triggers for myself specifically. One being competition. I am deeply scared of competition. I feel like I'm going to lose. Like, I don't like being in competitive environments at all, because I deal with a lot of self-doubt, and I will assume I'm going to lose. Hence why I walked off the stage thinking I lost my first round. Two, I had to let go of being prepared. I prepared a song to perform, and I had to scratch it and just, you know, do me and perform something off top, you know. So I went into a situation unprepared. I went into a situation where I had to compete, and I went into a situation where I was being judged literally by 4 judges. I went into a situation where I was in front of an audience. These are 4 very scary things for me: being judged, being perceived, being in front of an audience, performing, not being prepared, having to improvise, having to pivot, you know. And I ended up winning $200 at an open mic. So what that also proved to me was that despite the feelings I had about myself and my performance, I still cannot watch the videos of the open mic because they feel so cringy to me, because I don't know, I feel like my vocals weren't the best. I wasn't prepared. I had drank a little bit. I hadn't eaten all day. My anxiety was affecting my vocals a lot. I had never done this before, and somehow I still was able to be received well. Somehow my talent and my skill were still able to be received well. Somehow it taught me that things are not as black and white. Like, I thought that in order to be a successful performer, I had to be a certain way. I had to already be naturally sociable. I thought I had to have an early head start in performing and vocal lessons. I thought that I, you know, had to be extroverted, or maybe that I had to look a certain way. And that all was disproven with this experience. I went up, I was still myself. I was still very awkward. I was still very shy. Even the host said herself that the shyest artist just won the freestyle cipher. And I was able to be all those things, but also be received as talented, and also be received as, you know, be able to work an audience, be received as a performer. And even though I felt stupid, I felt like I didn't know what I was doing, the audience still received, you know, I don't know, the talent or the vibration of my voice or the energy, you know, the positive aspects of myself were able to be received. And it was really freeing to learn that those things can coexist, that I can have these fears and beliefs about myself and what I am and what I'm supposed to be to do this, and it can also be not true, you know. It can also be the other side of it, that yes, I can be, you know, shy and awkward and whatnot, but I can also be sociable and charming and a performer in my own way. And there are people out there who will like that, and that people who will like my specific energy that I'm bringing to the stage, and I don't have to be a certain way. So that was just very freeing, and I brought all of these lessons, all of these thoughts clicked into place into other aspects of my life, and it really freed me. Like, it's been what, 6-7 months since then, and I've been able to really step into things that are challenging because I understand that things aren't as black and white anymore. Either it's the best case scenario or worst case scenario. No, that things can coexist, that I can have anxiety and fear and be awkward and also have a great experience and be received beautifully. So I've been able to put that into action, and I started the YouTube channel. I started posting. I used to have fear about posting on Instagram and whatnot. And I began posting on there, and I started an Etsy store. I began telling everyone and posting about my Etsy store. I booked a solo trip in a few months. I'll be going to Bali in April by myself, my very first solo trip. And yeah, I'm just taking these risks. And I'm just putting myself out there because I now know that despite the fear that I have and despite the things I believe about myself, I know that I also have the ability to transcend those things, and it's likely that that's going to happen. So yeah, that is how an open mic altered my brain chemistry for the better, and how I'm now able to step into things with the fear, with the confusion, with the anxiety, with the limiting beliefs about myself, because I know that I'm able to transcend those things, and the universe is ready to provide me things to affirm positive beliefs about myself and to affirm that the limits that I have in my head about myself and my future, my capabilities, and what can happen for me are just a small fraction of what actually is and what actually can be. So yeah, there is how an open mic altered my brain chemistry. I hope that made sense. And what I wanted people to get out of this video is do the thing that you have been putting off. Just try it. Like, quit trying to prepare, quit trying to think it through, quit trying to get rid of the fear, quit trying to get rid of the anxiety, quit trying to change yourself to fit a mold that you think will better fit this thing that you want to be. Like, you can just be yourself, step into a situation, and it can work out. It can be that easy, it can be that simple, because the good things and the bad things can exist at the same time. Like, how is it that I'm able to be awkward and awkward and shy, and also be a performer, and also be able to win a singing competition, and also be able to, like, it can exist at the same time. Things can turn out better than you can imagine. Give things a chance. That's what I want you to get out of this video, that you can do it, and that there are opportunities and experiences curated just specifically for you. And yeah, what else? Let me think if there's anything else I want to say. Yeah, it's okay for things to turn out not exactly as you imagined. It's okay to be imperfect. You can be imperfect and still be admired. You're used to yourself, so you have for years you've been looking at your flaws in the mirror every day. You've been looking at yourself in the mirror every day, so you are not able to see yourself in the way that other people are seeing you with fresh eyes. You know, they are experiencing your essence for the very first time, and you know how it's like if you listen to a song for the first time, you feel me, and you get that feeling. You're like, oh, this is a beautiful song, and then you listen to the song 30, 40, 50 times, you're like, oh, this is a beautiful song, but it doesn't have the same effect. Other people experiencing you is like listening to a song for the first time, listening to a beautiful song for the first time. That's what it's like when other people are experiencing you. So give people a chance. Can you play the song? Can you put the song on Spotify? Can you release the song so that people can hear you? Please. Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead and make the video, post the video. Go ahead and record the song. Go ahead and release the song. Go ahead and book the trip, book the flight. Go ahead and introduce yourself to that person. Go ahead and make the Instagram account, start the Etsy store. Go ahead and do it and allow it to be imperfect. Stop trying to figure out all the details and whatnot. But I don't have this camera, this high quality camera. Excuses. Just start it, just do it, because now we know that things can be imperfect, and you can perceive these flaws, and at the same time, other people can extract all these different qualities and attributes out of it that you might not have been able to see in yourself as strongly. Hope that made sense. Love you. I hope this helped somebody, at least one person out there. Yeah, do it. I'm rooting for you. If you're waiting for one person, for one fan, you know, to give you that word of affirmation, here it is. I believe in you, and I want to experience you and what you have to offer. So can you please bring it to the table? Like, can I get a taste? Can I get a sample, please? Can you present it to me, please? I'm rooting for you. I'm looking for you. I'm waiting for you specifically to share yourself with the world, because we need different perspectives. Like, we need different stories. We need representation. Like, let me be your permission slip, because I personally wish I had someone that looked like me, someone that came from the same background as me, you know, low income, and, you know, being queer and being black and being a woman. And I wish I had someone, you know, who maybe is a generational curse breaker like me, the first in our family to try and step into entrepreneurship or into these different things, you know. I'm also an art major. I'm a creative. So I feel like there are a lot of odds stacked against me. But regardless, you know, I've already been through horrible things. So I'm like, I'm not about to let anything disrupt me from pursuing my purpose anymore. So if you need a permission slip, if you need to see somebody else, you know, in a similar space, stepping into the similar things as you, just so you don't feel so alone, just so you don't feel so crazy, here it is. Do it. Do it. Okay, love you, bye.